Welcome back to the James and James Show. So this week we're going to be going over a wide receiver tier list. We looked at our last video with the QB tier list. There were some indications that not everybody agreed with our opinion.
Good.
So suck it. I don't know.
Cry about
it. I don't know. But yeah, we're gonna go over wide receivers this time, mostly because I think wide receiver debate is just as intense as QB tier list because everyone has their own opinions about who's better than who, skill level and where they are in the career, and potential. Mm-hmm. So because we also have a few rookies in here as well. So yeah, let's just jump straight to the get-go. Best receiver in the league. There's only one answer in my opinion.
Justin Jefferson?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like he's gonna be number one.
Yeah, I think it's hard to argue that he shouldn't be up there in S. The interesting thing with this one is I think we will have more more in the wider ranges with wide receiver than we did with the quarterbacks.
Yes.
Because I think we could make a lot of arguments for S tier wide receivers.
Mm-hmm.
Because if we're just throwing people out there, I'm gonna follow up Justin Jefferson with Tyreek Hill.
Do you think he's well? Let's leave Justin Jefferson alone for right now. I want to put like Jamar Chase and Tyreek Hill in at least the same category for right now, and then we can decide later. We can adjust things as we can go along, but at the very least, Tyreek Hill and Jamar Chase should be on the same playing field right now. Because I don't know.
I might actually disagree with you there because I think Jamar Chase has a very high ceiling, but I think Tyreek Hill deserves to be in the same conversation as Justin Jefferson as someone who he almost had 2,000 receiving yards last year.
Yeah.
I think Jamar Chase has a high potential like Justin Jefferson, but I don't think he's quite tapped that yet. I think Tyreek Hill has been worthy of top 3 receiver for the past 5 years.
So do you think they're all S tier then?
I think Jamar Chase is still A or B because he still has a step he can take forward to get to S. I don't think he is on the same level as Tyreek and Justin Jefferson. I think he can get there. I think he has that potential, but I don't think he's there yet. He still has a little bit more to prove.
Room to grow.
Yeah.
Is what I would say.
I could go up to A with him, but I think Tyreek should be up to an S.
Okay, so we'll have Tyreek and JJ up in the same S category, and then we can have Chase at A. I feel like that's pretty fair.
Yeah.
All right. If we want to go alphabetically now, I guess.
All right. Well, first one I have on here following those is Adam Thielen. I would say a B tier. He's older, but he's been sneaky good for a while, and he was the only one on the Panthers. He was the only receiver who really did anything. He was great for the Vikings. He's not a standout receiver, but he's kind of like that Edelman where he's just consistently good.
He's not what he used to be for sure, but he's still consistent when it comes to being there for a team. I just don't think he's as good as he once was because age and everything is a thing. So I think for Thielen, consistency is probably the thing that will keep him as high as he is. Probably either very high C or low B for me.
That's kind of where I'm at.
I mean, that's just looking at his history as a receiver. I mean, I view a receiver as their entire career so far, and their potential, obviously. But
yeah, I think Thielen right now, at least this early on I would say low B.
I guess it's fine for right now, but we can adjust things.
He's on the fence. AJ Brown, A.
Yeah, he's an A receiver.
He's a very good receiver, but he's not like he makes a lot of fantastic plays, but I don't think he's as far as S tier, and I don't think he would be a B tier.
I agree.
Alec Pierce for the Indianapolis Colts.
Alex Pierce.
Alec Pierce, he's a good receiver. He's not I wouldn't say he's a great receiver. He's another one with room to grow. I could put him up to a B. I feel like he's around the same area that Thielen is, not for the same reasons, but I feel like he is in that same realm of like a low B, high C. I could move him down to a C as well.
Okay.
I
think I think C is probably more appropriate for him.
right.
If we're putting him in the same category as like a Thielen in the future, but
Amari Cooper.
He's very sneaky.
He's got to at least be B tier.
He's definitely B tier for sure. I don't know if he's like up in A right now, because he hasn't. He's very good. I just don't think he's on the same level as the ones we've already put down. Like AJ Brown, Jamar Chase, Tyreek Hill, Justin Jefferson. He's not the same league, but he's still a very good receiver. Consistent.
I could say B.
He's definitely a number one wide receiver. It's just he doesn't have much to work with a quarterback.
Amon-Ra St. Brown, at least an A.
Yeah, he's got to be an A. Great receiver. Has been very consistent, very great in fantasy because he gets all the receptions and everything. But yeah, I think he's definitely up there. I just don't know where else I would put him.
He would be A, or he's working towards S, but he's not there yet.
He's not there yet. It's the same thing with like Chase. He's got a lot of room to grow.
Did you hear though about him? He played the entire year
season with like what kind of injury was it?
Was it an oblique? A torn oblique?
Torn oblique, I think it was.
He
had an injury.
And he played all year with it, and still
and no one knew about it.
Surpassed 1,000 yards?
Yeah, something like that.
And 15 touchdowns, and I'm like, that's just
good for him.
Just go to Brandon Ayuk. He's at least a B tier.
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious to see what happens with him since he just officially requested a trade.
And that was today, right?
I think it was yesterday.
Yesterday.
As of recording this, yesterday.
As of recording this, yesterday, the 16th. So. He's definitely in a B category. I don't think he's quite there at A with the same.
He's such an underrated receiver. I think if he gets to the chance to be a wide receiver one somewhere, I think he can go up to an A. But he's sitting behind Debo with Kittle and McCaffrey, and I'm like, I'll give him a chance. But yeah, B right now, but
for sure.
Thielen stays over there.
How about?
I got Brian Thomas next.
They're rookies, so I'm not entirely sure where I would put them.
I'll say I don't think they can touch. I think they should be in the C to F range.
Okay.
And Brian Thomas is one of those that I'm gonna put it. I would argue a C.
Fair. I agree.
Because I think he's out of all the first round receivers, I think he's the most undervalued.
Yes, I do agree with that one.
I'm so excited to watch him this year. CD Lamb, A.
Yeah, he's A. It was like anything lower than that, I don't agree with.
No. Some people are going to be upset
about what?
Because it's not an S. Because some people argue he's top 3 receiver, and
he's top 5 for sure. He's not top 3, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think he's in that same realm of like. Well, honestly, I think he might be same area of like Amon-Ra. I think Amon-Ra has caught up to CD. And I think CD's very
Fair.
good, but I don't know.
I think
Amon-Ra's-
Amon-Ra is like just on the cusp of being top 5.
Yeah.
In my book.
They're very good receivers, but Chris Godwin.
This is one of those where it's just I don't know where I put him. I think he's good, but he's not like amazing. I think he's definitely a C receiver. I don't know.
Really? I was going to put him up like he gets a lot of talk in the area of A to B. I would argue B because he doesn't have the consistency Mike Evans does. But
That's what I'm saying because if I'm looking at the list that we currently have right now, he would be lower than Ayuk and Cooper.
That is, I mean, with injuries, yeah, I could see that, but I think talent-wise, I could keep him on the same as Cooper and Ayuk because the Buccaneers have so many good receivers that I would argue up to a B just because he's been there was a point where he was considered better than Mike Evans. He was considered the number 1. He might still be considered the number 1. I don't know how Buccaneers really are treating that, but he's on that. He's being treated in Tampa as on the same level, and I don't think he is, but I think he is good enough to argue a B when he's healthy.
I can settle for a B.
Okay.
Calvin Ridley. Calvin Ridley is an interesting case because the Jaguars kind of
I don't think
misused him. I think he's definitely in the same league as like a B. He's not an A tier with what we have right there right now.
Yeah, I mean,
He's not that. He's not that.
No,
level.
no, not. I wasn't thinking up. I was thinking down. Because he took the year off. He had the suspension. He came back. He wasn't a wide receiver 1. He
didn't do well.
He was inconsistent. He's a number 2 receiver. He's I think he's one of the better number 2 receivers in the league. And he didn't have that. Yeah. So
I can see a C. C makes sense for him because of just being behind and he had an off year with the Jaguars.
I think
not playing another year prior to that.
Pre-suspension when he was playing with Julio Jones, he was a B.
Yeah, he was definitely a B. But right now I see the C.
Yeah.
I see the C.
Then Jaguars Christian Kirk.
He was better than Calvin Ridley.
Yeah, but he's so one-dimensional. He's not. To me, he's very underwhelming, and I think the difference is I think Calvin Ridley has a higher ceiling. He just didn't play up to his talents. Christian Kirk just is not an impressive receiver to me.
Low C.
I could go to a low C. I was close to D, but I don't know if I'd go that far. Christian Watson from Green Bay. He's been very
B at the very least.
You said D?
B.
B at the least for Christian Watson?
Yes. Have you seen him play?
Yeah. Have you also seen how little he's played?
Yeah, but he had the whole season prior to that. He was one of the only good receivers that Rodgers had during his last year.
I feel like he hasn't really taken the step that he needs to. I don't think he's not the best receiver on his own team.
Who's better?
Romeo Dobbs. Jaden Reed.
I think Dobbs is better. I don't think Reed is better. Maybe I haven't seen enough of Reed then.
Reed, I think, was more impressive this last year. Dobbs, Watson, I think, has just been underwhelming for, what was he, a first-round pick or early second-round pick?
Something like that.
To me, he's been very underwhelming, and I've just not been impressed with him. And compared to, like, who you have at B, I don't know. I don't see how he compares at the moment. I think he could get there, but I don't think he's shown enough to say that he should be there.
Oh, all right.
So I could go to a C.
I can settle for a C. Watson's one of those players where it's just I know he can be really good.
Oh, I agree. It's like if he stays healthy and he gets the opportunities, I think he could be the number one receiver on that team and a top at least 15 receiver, but he just hasn't been there yet for me. And so that's why he's kind of sunk down. Cooper Kupp. Does he get to be in the S tier?
Oh, he's not S tier. He is not
Really?
S tier right now. No.
I would argue at least A.
He's definitely an A. He's not S tier.
He's interesting.
I'm thinking of their entirety of their career, not just thinking like 1 or 2 years. Kupp has been consistent. He's always been a great receiver. It's just he's not an S tier right now. He was during that Super Bowl run.
I think I can settle on A just for injury reasons. But I think
Alright.
if he's healthy all the time, I think he is one of those that's just up there with those guys. Cortland Sutton. I really like Cortland Sutton.
He was very underwhelming, though.
He was underwhelming?
I think so.
He was the one who had a highlight play every single game.
Because Wilson couldn't do shit.
Which I think makes him look better, arguably.
That's fair. I don't know. Sutton's an interesting case where I've never watched enough of him to decide where I would put him on a ranking list. I don't have anything against him. It's just, he's not very flashy. I don't know. Maybe I just haven't seen. I don't watch Denver Bronco games, if you can tell.
No, I thought he was very exciting for me to watch. He was my favorite receiver for the Broncos this last year, and I think I could make a pretty strong argument that he was the best receiver they had this last year.
I agree with that. He was their best receiver.
I won't say he's not fantastic. I could see B or C, probably being realistic, probably a C. Especially with Watson there.
Yeah, I would put C as well.
Curtis Samuel. I think he's a good receiver.
He hasn't done much. He has potential.
He was very good for the Commanders. He wasn't. He was receiver 2 or 3.
I think he was 2.
Yeah, because it was Terry McLaurin, obviously. Curtis Samuel and Jahan Dotson, those two. I think Dotson is higher, but we'll get down to him. I think Samuel could I could put him in a C.
Yeah.
C or B, but
C makes sense.
who are you?
I have Brandon Cooks is on here.
Recently?
He hasn't been
C?
Yeah, C.
If we're taking into account
C is very generous, though.
Yeah, like right now, I would say C is.
I'm okay with a very, very low C.
He's a reliable veteran, I think.
He's reliable. He's just not where he used to be.
No.
Chris Olave. I'd say B.
Oh, at least B. Okay, I guess he's still young and has some.
That's what I'm saying. He's got
in
potential.
Such a bad spot with his quarterback situation, though. He's such a.
He can be a really good receiver if he has a great quarterback.
After seeing him at Ohio State, I was like, oh no, he's gonna be so good. And then
The Saints don't have a good quarterback, so it's fine.
he looks he doesn't even he still looks great. It's just he isn't.
He has nobody to throw him the ball.
Yeah.
He has Derek Carr and Jameis Winston, or at least from last year.
Yeah, I feel so bad. Give him a good quarterback. He's so.
He would definitely
talented.
be top 15 or even more than that.
He could be top.
He could be top 10.
He's so talented. I would argue B with.
I'll stick with a B with that one. I just don't think he's up there yet, but he can make the strides to go up to the top.
Yeah, he could.
Devontae Adams is the next one.
Least
Adams,
A.
yeah, A.
I know. So if we're talking when he was on the Packers, he was definitely an S.
Oh, definitely.
He for a couple years was arguably the best receiver in the league.
Mm-hmm.
but
I think
quarterback play has dropped a lot.
It's the same reason why I have Cup at A. It's just because he was a C, but I'm averaging every year of his career into one statement, and I think an average is an A.
He also has
At his peak, he was an
throwing
S.
him the ball.
Yes.
I think poor quarterback play.
Poor quarterback play and everything. So he's definitely an A right now.
A good quarterback, I think he could still make an argument for S tier, but currently A.
Yeah. Next, I have DeAndre Hopkins. Oh boy, he was really great for most of his career, obviously, and then age, and then going to the Titans and everything. I don't know. I think career-wise, he would be around a B. The last 2 years have been a kind of a tarnish on his legacy.
DeAndre Hopkins, you said B?
B.
I could go with B just for historic reasons, and I still think he's a good receiver. He's just not
good. He's not what he once was.
I think it's like you take Brandon Cooks and then take it up a step, and that's kind of where Hopkins is at. Darnell Mooney. He's like B or C for me. Probably C though with who we have at B.
C. I would say a C as well.
I'll also do this now because now that things have played out, I'm okay moving things Adam Thielen to C.
Yeah. Deebo Samuel, A.
Yes.
There's no way I'm putting him anything lower than an A.
I don't think he. Well, yeah, I don't think he could be argued for S though. He's been, just
great.
I'll say what.
But he's been used for a lot of slants. I've noticed, especially this last season.
And handoffs.
Devonta
Smith. I really want
high B.
At
mid B.
least.
Yeah.
At least high B.
He's not an A, but he's on the cusp of it. He's not with AJ Brown, Jamar Chase, CeeDee Lamb, Cooper Kupp. He's not that level. He's a good receiver. He's just not that level.
I mean, I think he's right there with AJ Brown. He's been super impressive. I think he gets a little overshadowed because AJ Brown gets all of the he gets all the spectacular catches. Devonta Smith is just he's smaller, so he doesn't make the same plays. But I think he's a phenomenal receiver, and I think even looking into potential, I think he can pass A.J. Brown. And I think the Eagles feel the same as you saw the contract he got.
Yeah. I'm going to put him as a B for right now, but he can move up. I'm just with what he's done so far, he's earned himself solid B, but he hasn't earned a rank for me. I just don't think he's on the same level as Samuel, Chase, CeeDee Lamb, Brown, Kupp, Adams, St. Brown. He's not in the same league as those guys. Deontay Johnson is next. I never really liked Deontay Johnson.
D.
Yeah, I never really liked him. He wasn't that great of a receiver to begin with. I mean, he had potential right away, but then he just went.
I mean, look at the trade that happened for.
Yeah.
It was Deontay Johnson for Dante Jackson.
Something like that.
That's okay. Well.
It's whatever.
DJ Moore, A.
Yeah, that's an A. He's really good, and now he's going to be in a place where he has supposedly a great quarterback to throw to him. DK Metcalf.
A will be my argument. I think he's because it's also hard because he has to compete against players on his team for catches because Seahawks have such a good receiver room, but I think he's one of the scarier receivers to play.
He's
against.
Definitely scary to play against. I will agree on that one. And I think that's probably where he gets put at is an A because of his mentality. I'm not like a Metcalf fan, but I do think he's a great receiver when he's not bashful and everything.
He's got the mentality. He's big. He's fast.
He's fast. And he's a big man.
Strong. He's
big man. Drake London. London is a weird case for me because
I think
he was in the Arthur Smith offense,
he was, but I think he was one of them that actually kind of flourished.
kind of. It's very
Like he didn't get
generous.
as much as he should have, but he got more than the rest, the other talent who probably have a higher ceiling than he does, but he has played into the role that he's been given very well,
Yeah.
and I would argue up to a B.
I was gonna say B anyways. I don't think he's C because of looking
No.
at that roster on C right now. He's on
Yeah.
C. Garrett Wilson. Uh,
Oh, he's so confusing because he does so well.
and then he does so bad sometimes.
I don't think he does bad. His team does bad because he's been dealing with Zach Wilson. But
I guess that's what I'm saying is that because of his team, he ends up being bad.
he's been. Anytime he gets a chance to actually do something, he just he leaves me speechless sometimes. And
Do you want to say low B?
oh, not he's better to me than Drake London is.
That's what I'm saying. Above, like low B, but above Drake London at the very least.
I would say at least high B. To me, that's
He's
one
not
of-
that high for me.
He's one of the receivers of the future for the NFL. I think
I can see that.
I mean, he's done more. He's won Rookie of the Year.
True. I guess it's just because of the Jets have left a bad taste in everyone's mouth. I think that's why I'm not keen
That's-
on putting him at any higher than a low B right now. It's probably why.
The Jets have not done a good job, but I think Wilson has no blame to take for that. So I would say I could put him B,
I'm gonna say B.
but
I don't. I
it's
would
a low
not
B
put
to
him.
me.
I'm not gonna put him at any higher.
Davis.
Gabe Davis is. I'd say he's a B. He's very reliable. He has some issues, but he's a good number two.
He is a good number two, and he's a great deep threat. He's inconsistent, from what I've seen. Is he'll have games where he does fantastic, like the game against the Chiefs in the playoffs.
Yes.
But then he'll have entire games where he doesn't show up at all, and he's when you see him, he's fantastic, but he's not always there. I could put him at a B because I think he's a good number two receiver.
He would fit in the category that we have right now for B,
Yeah.
especially on the higher end.
Yeah.
George Pickens.
I'm going purely based on the way he plays and not everything off the field. He is a damn good receiver. He has his attitude issues,
Yeah,
and
I'm just not a fan of his attitude.
his attitude is a problem. But I mean, if he grows up and puts away the attitude, he's
He can be pretty good.
such a good receiver. I could throw him in B.
Yeah, high B though. High B, because I'm not gonna refute his skill, because he definitely has it. Dotson's next on my list. We did say what was it?
Samuel.
Yeah, he's above Samuel, right?
I don't know really where they played him. I think he's around the same, but he's younger. He was
He was-
what,
he
first
was-
or second year
Yeah,
receiver.
I think he's second
Plus
year. But he was also number 3. He wasn't number 2. I don't think. Maybe they changed a couple
I think
times, but
I
he
just
was
know
been solely 3.
they used a decent amount of him, and he was very impressive. He wasn't. I know he wasn't the number one, so he's not gonna. I don't want to put him in C because that doesn't seem fair to him, but also at the same time, I don't know if he's earned B,
He's not earned B in my opinion.
which sucks because I really.
I would
like
say
Montgomery.
give him another year, and he probably will.
That's fair. I could put him in C then.
Jameson Williams. Jameson Williams. Lions. I would say
So much potential, but he hasn't shown me like enough.
C.
I could go with C. He's so much potential.
Yeah. JSN. I think JSN is one of those cases where he does. I think the reason why Metcalf is not like any higher is because of JSN, because JSN has gotten a lot of those catches specifically this last year. He shined. I think for me, he's probably somewhere in B.
That's interesting. To me, from what I heard, Jackson Smith and Jigba did not do much. Especially I feel like he didn't play until way later in the season.
Because they were still trying to figure out that offense, to be completely honest. It was kind of a train wreck for a while.
Yeah.
I don't know. What was it? I think it was it injuries? Or was it just a miscoaching?
They had struggles. They were about where they were the year before. I think at around 9-8. They haven't figured out the entire team yet, but they're in that rebuild.
Pete Carroll's last year as well.
That's true. But yeah, Smith and Jigba, I think he could be up there to be the next great Ohio State receiver. I think he could be up there with Olave and Wilson wherever they go, if they end up making it to A or wherever. I think he can. I don't think we saw enough to put him there. I don't think we saw enough of him to put him anywhere.
Same thing in another year, maybe, to determine that.
Yeah, I'd say C.
I'm gonna put him high C though, because he's pretty good.
From what I saw in Ohio State, I know he has great potential. It's just
he's good.
Yeah, I just haven't seen him play enough.
Jaden Reed is my next person. Jaden Reed, he's
I have a spot I could argue, but I know it'll get. I'll start with where I think he'll end up as a consensus between us, which is C.
Yeah.
I think I could argue up to a B because he was a rookie breakout for the Packers, and he was late.
This is one of the Packers receivers where I think he deserves to be at B.
I mean, I think he. Ooh, actually, but when you look at who's at B, I have a hard time putting him there.
Maybe a high C then.
I could say high C, especially because he's only done it 1 year, and I'd like to see him do it again. And he was not, one of the other rookies.
No.
So we'll say C, high C. Jalen Waddle.
Yeah, I got Waddle next. Waddle is definitely an A, right? I would want him to be up there.
B.
You think he's B?
I've not been super impressed with him for what he was hyped up to be.
He was still great, though.
I think he was good. I don't think
He was better than Metcalf, who's an A right now.
This last... I would disagree. I mean, a part of it's also he's in a high-flying offense, and he plays into the scheme a lot, but I don't know as far as, his actual talent. I don't know if I would... To me, he's closer to Ayuk than he is to CeeDee Lamb.
All right, I can agree with that one. I just don't think he's that bad. I don't know.
I don't think he's bad. I think he's a great... I mean, looking at, what the B is you could argue that they're a top 15, probably top 15 receiver, and that's about where I see him as top 15, top 20. Not quite in the argument for a top 10 yet, though, because he's just... I think the offense makes him look great, but he also doesn't do enough with... And maybe that's because Tyreek Hill is there, but I think he's good.
Probably.
So
Jordan Addison. Yeah, Jordan Addison. Jordan Addison is one of those receivers where he took the pressure off of JJ.
And he stepped in when he got injured, too.
He also stepped in when he got injured.
He did.
So, I don't know if that bumps him up any higher though. I'm saying like a B for him.
Oh yeah, I wasn't gonna go up to A.
Yeah.
It was his rookie year.
It was his
And
rookie
I think
year.
he did.
So he did pretty well for his rookie year. He definitely helped Jefferson a lot with that pressure. So he was a solid backup option.
Like he'll be 1-2 punch. They'll be
good offense, and now they'll have a young quarterback to help with that. Supposedly,
Sam Darnold.
Yay. Keenan Allen. It might be the same reason why I have Hopkins at B.
I was gonna say B.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be an A.
Keep it quick. Just B. He's good. He's good. I could have used to probably make an argument for A for him, but I think it's fallen down a little bit.
So
Keep it at that.
I think. Hold on a second. Okay, the next three are rookies: Coleman, McConkey, and Neighbors. I think Neighbors is the better of the three.
I think Neighbors you could argue for C because we put Brian Thomas up there.
Yeah,
and
I think he's one of the ones that will be up in C. Coleman and McConkey, I think they'll be at D with Mitchell. So.
Yeah, I think Coleman is I think he's the one who has the best chance to stand out out of those three.
Yeah.
McConkey, I absolutely can put in D.
We'll see what he does.
Yeah.
Marquise Brown. I'm not really sold with Marquise Brown.
He was good in Baltimore, but since he left, he had the 1 year with Arizona that he was good, and then since he's dropped off.
I'm going to say
Low C or D.
C.
I
hate saying this, but there's a reason why the Chiefs picked him up. I think it was just because they needed another receiver that doesn't drop the ball all the time.
Yeah, which is not the greatest choice.
No. And every Chiefs fan's talking about like he's like the next Tyreek Hill or whatever. Like they always do that with new recruits. I mean, he can flourish under that Mahomes offense. I'm not saying he's bad. I'm just saying he's not Hill.
No, he's not. He's not going to be the next star receiver. He could fit into the role like everyone else has.
Oh, definitely. He can definitely replace Tony instantly. For sure.
Well, yeah, he's also a better deep threat, I think, than Tony is. Going on, Marvin Harrison
Jr. C. He's one of those ones where he's like.
He's the only rookie who could argue for B.
Would you want to throw him up there?
No, I'm not gonna.
I was about to say, do you want to?
I'm not going to break that threshold because that means that you're going to argue that he's better than
all those other receivers. So we'll see. To be determined.
He will get the bump if he proves to be at all like remotely close to what he has been hyped up to.
I need to see 6 games with him, and then I can probably determine.
All right, there you go. B. Play 6 games.
Usually receivers. Usually with receivers, if they don't shine within like the first half of the season, they're not going to be looked at positively. I mean, if he lives up to that hype, especially in that first 6 games, I'm sold.
Yeah.
Pittman Jr. I don't know. C. Yeah. I don't know where else to put him.
Like he's
not
okay.
He's okay. He's just not.
He's in
the best.
He reminded Alec Pierce and Michael Pittman to me seem like basically the same guys. And some people are gonna get upset about that, but I'm sorry.
Did you say
Michael Pittman and Alec Pierce?
Oh, Alec Pierce. Yeah. Mike Evans.
A.
Yeah.
Consistency.
He's always been great.
Yeah.
Mike Williams.
Ooh.
I just realized this is gonna be a weird one. Because I had him on fantasy for like the last 2 years. He can have really good games, but then he just doesn't exist for like the rest of the season.
The thing that makes it difficult is he's a solid receiver. He's a good receiver, but he has Justin Herbert throwing him the ball, but his coach was Brandon
Staley. So Staley was part of the problem.
Yeah, and then there's Justin Herbert who brings him up, so that's why you see such highs and lows. Looking at him as a receiver, the Chargers receivers for the past 5-6 years have never been super impressive to me. I could put him on the same level as Keenan Allen.
I was gonna say, I think keep him the same range as Allen, because Allen is still pretty decent, and Williams is not as good as Allen, but he's still decent enough.
Yeah.
Ooh, Nico Collins.
I feel like I have to. B or C.
B or C?
You gonna argue A?
I wasn't gonna argue A, but C is a little harsh on him. I think he's a solid B option.
I think he's good. I don't even know if he's the best receiver on their team.
He's not, but he's a damn good receiver, especially with Tank Dell going out. At a certain point of the season, he really stepped up. I had him on fantasy. He was pulling in numbers.
Yeah, but then I wonder how much is just C.J. Stroud being that guy, and how much is actually him. Because if you look before, he didn't have much of a quarterback before, and he was solid before, which is why I kind of I look at the history, and that kind of pulls him down a little bit for me. And it's just difficult to rate him. But I would say B or C, just because again the C's are not bad, but they're just not like.
He's got to be a B for me. I like him. He's a great receiver. Puka Nacua. Gee, I wonder where he's going to be put.
He did it 1 year though. That's
the thing. It's just we don't know how he's going to keep that consistency going. Do we want to put him like a high B for right now? Because it's like 1 year does not equal the best receiver in the league.
Not best receiver in the league.
I know, but
he had the best rookie performance by any receiver
ever. That's the thing. It's like in my opinion, he deserves to be an A, but it's like it's 1 year.
Well, it's like how long would you have waited? Like how many years along Justin Jefferson's development would you have waited to put him at A? Because he
probably his second year.
So you think B still for Puka?
I don't like it at all, but a very high B. He deserves to be an A. I don't like basing it off of average because that means 1 year could be so much better for one player than a player that has been in the league for 7 years, and they've been consistent but not as good for.
Well, yeah, that's right. I try and look at him like right now. Where is he? And I think I'm okay with B. I like high B.
He's got to be high B, in my opinion.
We'll see. I might get the cojones to bump him.
Rashid Rice.
Yeah. Well, we're not acknowledging off the field, so
no. This is the player, Rashid Rice.
I still don't think he's even worthy of a B tier, though. He was the best receiver on the Chiefs, but like that wasn't saying much in my book. I think he was solid because he could catch the ball, and
he was the only reliable receiver. Is that what you're saying?
Wide receiver, yes, not counting Travis Kelce.
Okay.
So
I can understand that logic. I just don't think he's.
He also again only did 1 year, and if you have Addison and Puka at B,
then I guess that's fair. Then C high C is fine. I don't know. Roma Dunze.
I like him not as much as I do the people in C, and with the team he's going into, I think out of the top, what is it, three receivers, the early picks, I think he's most likely to fail.
Okay.
And again, I loved the Larry Fitzgerald comp. I just don't. I think that's hard to live up to.
Yeah.
I would
it's hard to live up to Larry Fitzgerald.
Because Keon Coleman's there, I'd put him at D.
Okay. Stephon Diggs.
It has to be A.
Yeah, I was about to say he's not a B.
I mean, you got all the off-field stuff, but has to be an A.
Yeah, he's
one
still
of
a
the
great
best
receiver.
He's again an argument for a top 5 receiver when he's playing.
When he's healthy, playing, and not a jerk to everybody on the field. Okay, we're coming into the last stretch. Tank Dell.
B.
Yeah,
For-
B.
For the reason, like, he was another one of those really good receivers, but it was 1 year.
T. Higgins.
T. Higgins. B. I think he's a little overhyped, but he is very good.
Yes.
He
has talent.
Yeah, I think he's just like mid B.
I'm okay with that.
Scary Terry, A.
Yeah. A? Is that what you said?
Yes, I think Scary Terry is one of the more underappreciated receivers in the league.
Like, it's probably the same reason for, like I have with Wilson. Shitty team. That's probably why I don't rank him as high.
Yeah, and he's one of those that I would take. Like, he would be, if I had to pick between receivers, he'd be in the same realm as like him or CeeDee Lamb or him or Stephon Diggs. Like,
fair.
That's up there for me. Like, he's one of those guys for me.
Tyler Lockett.
He's just gotten. I'm gonna say C just because he's gotten older, but
He's still reliable.
He's very reliable, and he's a good receiver. He's gotten older, and I think he's not what he used to be just because of age. He used to be an A to B. Well, maybe not an A, but he used to at least be a B, and I think just as time has gone on, he's kind of slipped down. And I think C is probably where I would rank him right now. And again, I really like him, and I think he's still really reliable, but he's just not the same.
Xavier Worthy.
F. Can I?
Yeah.
I want to put him in F.
We can put him in F. Speed does not mean great.
No, it doesn't.
Last but not least at all, Zay Flowers.
Man, I really want. Actually, I can make a solid argument B. I think he was.
I'm okay with him being at B.
I think he has up there with
he has
some
great
of those
potential.
Receivers. He did great.
He did well at an offense that actually throws the ball now.
Yeah. Yeah.
He can.
I think he could break out. I think if we get him someone else too. But yeah, that's everyone.
At least the main guys. Well, thank you guys for joining us for another possibly controversial tier list, especially going off of the last one. So, like we said before, if we have bad takes, let us know. Because I probably do have a few bad takes, I will admit that. But yeah, tell us what you think. Because I know there's going to be a couple people that I will talk to being like, why did you put Rashid Rice as low as you did? He was a great receiver on the Chiefs. Well, he was the best receiver on the Chiefs. That doesn't really mean anything. Kelsey is the receiver on that team. No one else is. Anyways, thank you all for joining us. Stay tuned because we will have other kinds of content coming out eventually. We're still in the brainstorming process, and that will take forever, but we'll get there.
Yeah, and I think
we'll
get more interesting content than tier list.
I promise that we won't be doing tier list the entire summer.
No, we won't. And we'll get more interesting as we get closer. We'll get even hotter takes. This is like mild. Just like.
All right, yeah, I can see that.
Woo. But
we're testing the waters right now.
Yeah,
that's what we're really doing, honestly.
I'm seeing how out there I can get before people start screaming at me. Scream at me. Tell me I'm.
You're wrong.
Not you. All right. Well, I guess we'll catch you guys in the next video.
See you.